Hi, my name is Caspar Lee, and I'm quite a daring guy.
Before Caspar Lee's YouTube channel would have over 6.5 million subscribers, with his top video, Girlfriend Pranks My Roommate, hitting over 18 million views.
I always thought it would be soft in real life. Do you know if I feel it again one more time?
Before his personal biography book tour would sell out in all 7 of its UK locations. Before Caspar would have a cameo appearance alongside his roommate Joey Sugg in the SpongeBob movie, SpongeBob Out of Water, playing the super prestigious role of a seagull.
That sort of thing. But primarily,
you with wings.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Perfect. Perfect.
Natural as
Thank you.
seagull as possible.
So I already.
Before he would work with other celebrities including Chris Pratt, Cara Delevingne, and Kevin Hart.
And drink this.
Chocolate milk strawberry.
Gin and tonic, let's do your one. You don't know my favorite drink, obviously. I thought you would remember that.
How would I know? Hey.
Which actually makes me really jealous. I mean, I've talked about most of those people, but I've never talked to them. Now, because of his Tourette's, Caspar Lee was often bullied in school by fellow students and teachers alike. His parents divorced while he was in high school, and his first crack at YouTube failed. That is until he gave his channel a total reboot. What's going on, guys? My name's Michael McCrudden, documenting the life and career of Caspar Lee prior to fame, here for you on Before They're Famous. Now, in the past, we've covered other Brits like Adele, we've done the cast of Star Wars, we've also done Zoella, but I'm sure there are plenty more we're missing, so let us know, as always, in the comments down below who you want us to document next. Russell Brand, we did him as well. That one was one of my faves.
My feet are size 12 UK, but it doesn't correlate with my penis. Does that make sense?
Caspar Richard George Lee was born in Paddington, London on April 24th, 1994. His parents are Jonathan and Emily Riordan Lee, and he has an older sister named Theodora who also has her own YouTube channel under her name, because there's not a lot of Theodoras out there. He comes from a long and pretty interesting line of descendants on both sides of his family. His maternal grandmother was Richard Murphy, a well-known Anglo-Irish poet, and his maternal grandmother was Patsy Strang, a South African writer. Moving down the line, he has several ties to the English aristocrats, including his great-grandfather Sir William Lindsay Murphy, who was a mayor of Colombo and governor of the Bahamas. Not a bad place to work.
Why did you call Caspar Caspar?
Because we had a very good friend who had a son called Caspar.
His father worked as a copywriter and his mother ran a chocolate factory when Caspar was young. He sometimes visited the factory and would try and get into all the chocolate making machines, which isn't very sanitary, but can you blame him?
Dustin! My chocolate! My chocolate! My beautiful chocolate!
When he was only a year old, the family packed up and moved to South Africa, where some of their roots were from. They relocated first to rural Fort Nottingham and then eventually to Durban, where Caspar started his school year at an all-boys school, Crawford College. La Lucia. He even started a year early. When he was about 6 years old, he began to realize that something wasn't quite normal with him. He was watching TV with his sister when he began to snort without being able to control it. After a few minutes of uncontrollable noises, his sister got fed up and told him to leave. He ran to his dad and told him what had happened, and his dad sat him down and told him that he may have Tourette's. Or that in fact he did. For those of you who don't know what that is,
people with Tourette's have very strong impulses to make unflattering movements and or noises.
Caspar's teachers at school didn't understand the disorder and often thought he was being rude, so they kicked him out of class. He also suffered bullying from some of his peers, frequently being called Tourette's boy. Luckily, he seemed to grow out of the disorder as he got older. That doesn't mean he stopped making a name for himself in the classroom. In fact, his most embarrassing moment was when he was in school and an American teacher was invited to teach the kids about the United States. Caspar passed gas in front of the whole class, and the American teacher went on to say that Americans also farted and pointed to Caspar to say, "You would fit right in." When he was 11, his family moved yet again, and this time to Nizer. He began to play tennis to pass the time and actually became quite good. He went to high school at Oak Hill, where he encountered a bully named Joshua who picked on him for being the new kid. Funny enough, Caspar and Josh became best friends in just a few weeks.
I love a good shorty right now. But everybody knows.
When he was in high school, Caspar's parents decided to get a divorce. The news came as a big shock to him, even though he knew that their relationship hadn't always been the strongest. Both parents, they remarried, and Caspar gets along with both step-parents extremely well.
It's unbelievable. Yeah, I'm so proud of him.
I know,
but it all comes with a lot of hard work. He works so hard, you have no idea.
When he was 16, Caspar was bored and started to play around with making and uploading YouTube videos. His views mainly came from himself, refreshing and rewatching his own videos over and over again to make the view count higher. But hey, if you start out on YouTube, it's typically always the case. That and your mom. My mom helped me a lot. True story. He even created YouTube accounts just so that he could subscribe and like his own videos. It wasn't doing too well, and after 2 years, he restarted the channel, this was in 2012, with the end goal of becoming a YouTube partner. The channel was called DI Caspar at first, but eventually would become known just as Caspar. This time around, about 6 months in, he was more confident and people seemed to enjoy the channel a lot more. Not just the other 35 accounts he had created himself. He began to build his channel and establish contacts with several YouTubers in London, such as Sam Pepper, before that whole mess, before it got real ugly.
We're going to be going up to people with bandages on our hands and trying to get them to text very inappropriate things.
On top of this, he also made friends with Alfie, who would eventually become his first roommate. He decided to travel to England and meet up with these other YouTubers for collabs. The collaborations were a huge success and brought his channel even more attention, growing it exponentially. On December 31st, 2012, Caspar moved to England to continue to pursue his YouTube career. Wait, where was he living before? In South Africa? As for the rest of the story, well, you know the story because this is Before They're Famous. My name's Michael McCrudden and we do all sorts of celebrity bios on here. We've done a whole bunch of YouTubers. Be sure to browse around. Sam Pepper, that is definitely one we have done. And Marina Joyce, that one's coming your way shortly. Be sure to browse around, hit subscribe, and I'll see you guys in another video. Also, Caspar, fantastic work. I love your sit-downs with the celebrities, especially Azzy Akira. That was really good.
It was like an itch that wouldn't go away, and then after doing it, I wanted to do it again.